The most successful way to make sure people buy your product is to raise the price until they can barely afford it. In traditional economics, we are taught a simple law: as price increases, demand decreases. It's the foundational logic of the market. But in the world of high-end fashion and tech, some companies actually thrive by intentionally making their products more expensive. Today, we are peeling back the curtain on why your brain's perception of value is being actively manipulated. The phenomenon starts with what economists call a Giffen Good. To understand this, look at 19th century Ireland. The potato was the staple food for the poor. When potato prices rose, it didn't lead to a decrease in consumption. Instead, because these families were so poor, the rising price of potatoes forced them to cut out luxury items like meat entirely. They had to consume even more potatoes just to get the same amount of calories. In this case, the price increase forced people to buy more of the cheaper, inferior goods simply to survive. It's a tragic, cold-blooded example of how price can dictate survival over choice, completely defying the standard supply and demand curve. Now, contrast that with the modern world. Why does a $10,000 designer handbag sell better than a $100 one that performs the exact same function? This is known as the Veblen Effect. Look at the history of Rolex. They don't just sell timepieces, they sell a positional good. If Rolex were to suddenly lower their prices to compete with standard digital watches, they would actually destroy their brand. For their target market, the high price is the quality. It acts as a gatekeeper. By keeping prices astronomically high, they ensure that owning one serves as a visible signal of social status. You aren't just buying the watch. You are buying the exclusivity that the price tag provides. The reality is that we are biologically wired to use price as a mental shortcut for quality. We assume that if something is expensive, it must be better. Companies have spent decades perfecting this psychological pricing. They know that most consumers do not have the time or the technical expertise to analyze the actual materials or labor costs of a product. So, they sell you a narrative instead. When a brand elevates its price, it isn't always because the manufacturing costs went up. It's because they have successfully repositioned the product as a social currency. Understanding these mechanisms, the Giffen Good's desperation and the Veblen Effect's vanity, is the first step toward reclaiming your agency. You are being pushed to make decisions based on perceived status rather than objective utility. The moment you stop seeing a price tag as a reflection of quality and start seeing it as a design choice meant to trigger your psychology, you break the hold. You are no longer just a consumer. You are an observer. And that realization, that is your true competitive edge.